Hi, I'm John, and I went to Norway and got eaten by a parrot.
And I'm John, and I went to Norway and got eaten by a shark.
And I'm not John, and I don't remember either of those two things happening. But
I was by the fire, and I stood next to the fire and then slid underneath it, and there was the pallet thing the fire was on, and I went underneath that.
Oh yeah, and everyone laughed, and like
two more people did it after me.
3 more people did it.
3 more people did it?
Yeah.
Oh man. See, I'm a trendsetter.
I would tell you how I got eaten by a shark, but what happens on tour stays on tour.
This is
true.
Lads. And Norway is in the past, and also in the past is St. Patrick's Day, and I'm still a bit tipsy.
Okay.
Everyone knows that we record this in advance, so I'm not still tipsy from St. Patrick's Day. I'm still tipsy from preparation for the Patricks of the days.
Well, I cracked open a beer because I feel that it's topical.
And yes, to link the two things together, it was £9.50 on average per pint, and their pints are smaller than ours here in the UK. For our listeners in America, they're slightly smaller than your pints over there, which in dollars is about $15 for a something pint.
They varied a lot in size.
Yeah.
What's that about?
When we were in the airport coming back, one of our colleagues said, "I'll have a beer," and they said, "What size?" And he said, "The biggest one you do," and it was like 700 millilitres. And then I asked for a cider in the same size, and they went, "No, just small for you." And it was 300 millilitres, and it cost exactly £1 less.
They saw you coming.
Oh, yeah, apparently cider's not a big thing. So, but anyway, this is Would St. Patrick Rather, our St. Patrick's Day special, where unfortunately we did ask, but it turns out he's dead, so St. Patrick won't be asking the questions. So John's going to channel Irish.
Me.
Yeah.
To be sure, that's going to be incredibly racist. Right, no, I won't do that. Instead, we're just going to dive right in. I'm going to go with, would you rather have the luck of the Irish, or would you rather have that awesome friendly accent of the Irish?
I'm going to go with the accent, because historically the Irish haven't been very lucky.
Says who?
It says history.
We're talking about the Irish, not the Jews.
Yeah, no, I know we're talking about the Irish people, but all I know about Irish history is it's one country that they split into 2, which we discussed previously, and I still don't really understand. And they had some sort of potato famine, and they got infested by snakes, and St. Patrick tried to get rid of them all. And then there was like that whole terrorist thing, which was caused by religion. So historically, it doesn't sound like they've had that much luck, mostly because of the snakes. So I'm going to go with the accent.
John, help us out.
I think that maybe the luck of the Irish is a bit like the luck of dwarves, and dwarves have lots of gold. That's a thing. So I reckon the Irish also have lots of gold.
You're thinking of leprechauns?
No, that would be
too topical.
That'd be far too stereotypical and prejudice.
So instead you're just going to compare all Irish people to dwarves?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I think
you two don't like this question because you're not very forthcoming with answers.
I don't know much about the Irish. All I know is they're the most like patriot. I've lived with some, and they're like the most patriotic people I've ever met. There was a girl I lived with, and you'd say like normal conversations you'd have. What's your favourite band? And it would just be a band based on their music, or who's your favourite comedian? Who's your favourite film? And it was like having a conversation with her. What's your favourite band? And it would be an Irish band. Okay, fine. What's your favourite film? It would be a film about being in Ireland. Okay, what's your favourite food? It would be an Irish food. Like everything was Irish, which I struggled to get on board with because as being inherently English, we're not proud to be English.
We're not allowed to be proud to be English.
Yeah, well, you are allowed to be proud to be English, but I don't just like.
You're not allowed to tell anyone about it.
We whinge about our country. We do like our country, but we whinge about it all the time. And probably my favourite film is Made in America, and my favourite band are probably from a different country. And I don't base it on where I'm from.
And where are from a different country? What music do they play?
Wait, but who we what?
The band from a different country. What music do they play?
They play. Actually, ironically enough, it's Flogging Molly, and they play Irish music. It's not. They're not my favourite band. They are very good bands.
I'd have given you like massive bonus points for Dropkick Murphys.
Yeah. But yeah, it's very similar in Liverpool where I live. Like they're very, and there's nothing wrong with it. They're just very patriotic of where they're from, and I think I just struggle to connect with that because.
Are you not proud of Huntingdon?
Not at all. It is the arsehole of the planet. It's worse than Florida.
Whoa.
That is how bad I think Huntingdon is. It is worse than Florida.
I don't think I've ever been to a country
with somewhere worse than Huntingdon.
No, that doesn't have an Irish pub. And I think that might be something to do with the luck of the Irish. Haven't quite figured out the connection yet, but I remember I've been to some really bizarre places where I found a Irish pub, at the top of a random mountain.
Maybe you have the luck of the Irish.
Peru or Nepal. Yeah, I think it might be connected to the luck. I have got an Irish surname. My grandfather was Scottish, but I reckon he probably had ancestors that fled from Ireland. And I feel lucky to be descended from a Scottish person who might have been Irish at one point.
That's definitely a stretch.
But he got better.
But yeah, I mean, I think so. Maybe I do have the luck of the Irish, and I always manage to find an Irish pub where I can celebrate my roots that I'm not fully certain on.
But with the Irish accent, it doesn't matter because every pub I go to will become an Irish pub. Because imagine if the Irish pubs are generally very friendly, but if you are Irish, everyone tends to be very friendly to you. It's a very charismatic and friendly accent that people just happen to be drawn to, men and women. So every pub I would go into, I would have that feeling of being at home because I'm Irish and I'm in a pub. So
it's like home from home.
Yeah, exactly. And I quite like pubs as I am anyway, that I feel very at home in a pub, so it would just be even more at home. So
home from home.
Yeah. And it would probably be more interesting for our listeners as well if I had an Irish accent, which I'm not going to attempt to butcher.
No, I avoided that very early on. Not a good idea.
But yeah, there might be some voice work in it for me as well. I could be the new voice of Lucky Charms. Okay, now I'm just actually being racist.
You could be Dara O'Brien's
slightly
voice double.
Well,
stunt double.
His voice double.
Ah.
You couldn't be a stunt double because you don't really look anything like him. But
you got as much hair as Dara O'Brien.
you could talk when his voice has gone hoarse.
I definitely could. But yeah, I think you make your own luck. So I don't think Irish people are lucky. Whereas accents definitely do exist.
Are you sure?
I don't believe it.
Okay.
Where do we go from here? we are now at an impasse.
Well,
I want John to prove there are no such thing as accents, or come up with a really good what you do if you had the luck of the Irish.
If I had the luck of the Irish, I would become a trade negotiator. Yeah, I think you need a bit of luck to complete a trade deal.
So if you had the luck of the Irish, would you be like a member of the the DUP?
No. Not them.
Well,
No.
But all Irish people are really good at negotiating.
Are they?
That's a very sweeping statement, and I've never heard that stereotype before.
Well, they're hardliners when it comes to negotiating.
I think it's not from the skill in negotiating, but I think that skill comes from their accent. I don't think that's got anything to do with luck. I think it's got a lot to do with inflection.
I think John is thinking too much of the lady from Father Ted who offers people tea and then stands there going, go on, go on, go on, go on, until they basically give in and you're like, right, I'll have a tea. They're persistent, they're tenacious, they don't give up. They're very, very hard-working people, the Irish.
Yeah, they don't give up. And that is why they
and that's
will
got
be
nothing
successful.
to do. That's got nothing to do with luck. Then that's got to do with hard work.
No, it's all to do with the luck of the Irish.
I think you're pulling at hairs here, John.
Splitting hairs?
Well, he's doing something.
He's doing something with something long and very thin and inappropriate.
Yeah, stop doing that while we're recording, John.
Yeah, John. Matt wins.
Yeah.
We don't stand for smart on this podcast.
If you'd prefer more smut on our podcast, then please leave us an iTunes review, because that will help us get more people to listen, and we can get people writing in, and we can talk about even more smut.
And we can focus our efforts on which genre of smut you want.
Exactly. We can really hone in on that smut. For example, John exclusively in Norway only took pictures of the other John urinating, and I'm not going to tell you which one.
It was him. It was fucking harassment.
You were urinating onto a waterfall, and I took a picture from behind, and it was amazing.
A urinal that happened to look like a waterfall.
That's not the angle that I took.
If you'd like to get in touch with
John, registers for less.
If you'd like to get in touch with John with an H, please take a photo of him urinating and send it in to us on at WoodJRather.
Oh, right, okay. If you want to get in contact with me, it's John Would Rather, no H's, because I need all the H's I can get for hygiene reasons.
That was a stretch. I don't want to know what hygiene issues you're facing.
Getting his phone out in men's lavatories.
Men's lavatories? I thought you said laboratories. Ugh. We did have a really good... I found this cool little bar called the Bastard Bar in Norway that had the most amazing wallpaper, and it was lots of... They looked like comic books covers, but they were like smarty book covers.
Fictional.
In like B-movie 80s Return of the Blob or Attack of the Killer Tomato style, including My First Penis and The Big Book of Lesbian Horse Stories was my personal favourite.
I have a picture of that one.
Yeah, you sent it to me. I was going for a wee, and you were taking a picture of it as somebody else who spoke no English walked into the bathroom and just
you told me to take a picture of it.
I know.
I didn't. I swear I did more than take pictures in bathrooms in Norway. I did way more than that.
He didn't.
He didn't. Next question.
Right. Okay. Would you rather your name was the same as a murderer's or was unpronounceable?
Same as a murderer's.
And there's no option of going to Depol and getting it changed. This is the name you're stuck with forever.
Same as a murderer's.
Okay, Fred West, why?
Because there's plenty of people that have... There's only so many names, and it would just make things easier. Everyone would know how to spell it. I'm sure there's jokes you could make out of it, but at least everyone would know you're not. As discussed in a previous podcast, I've got a friend who listens. I don't know if he still listens. Called Chris Martin, but he's not the Chris Martin.
Also, Chris Martin is not a murderer.
No, he's not as cool.
So Jeffrey Dahmer, can you let John explain why he'd like to have an unpronounceable name?
Yes.
I'd like to have an unpronounceable name because I think it'd be a conversation starter. Somebody would struggle to say your name, and you'd make a joke about it. No, it's okay, nobody gets it right. Just call me.
It's okay, nobody's good their first time.
Just call me Raj. That's easier to pronounce. Don't worry about it.
I 100% thought you were going to go with Frank because that is your go-to.
Well, I like to keep things
multicultural.
Yeah. And Raj is a nice name.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think you'd probably meet other people who had unpronounceable names and set up a club. The club would have quizzes and visits to unpronounceable cities, unpronounceable palaces, and we'd relish the fact that nobody could say our name.
Well, I'd start a club with all other people who have names of murderers, and we'd start a club and we'd go to places and not kill people. And for the exact same reasons as you, like it'd be a conversation piece at the beginning of the, I'm struggling to think of a famous murderer. I don't really know many murderers, not personally.
Harold Shipman.
Harold Shipman. Hi, I'm Harold Shipman, not the Harold Shipman, obviously.
Also, can I just circle back to, were you inferring that Raj, aka John, would go to places that were really difficult to pronounce and murder people? Because
it's a perfect cover. Can't arrest someone if you don't know the name.
We've got a search warrant for
Never mind.
Let him go.
It's more painful to pronounce his name than it is to just let him carry on killing. No, I'm not implying that he'd go around killing people, but I also am not going around killing people.
That's very good of you.
The only difference between the two of us is people can pronounce my name.
I think there would be a difference, because I think if you had the name of a murderer who hadn't yet been caught, then when you tried to use airports and that sort of thing, I reckon there'd be a flag. And I think it would cause intolerable inconveniences when you're asked.
Yeah, because there's definitely no sort of flag that they have in airports when you have an unpronounceable name. That's not the sort of racism that exists these days. Definitely not.
Well, I mean, racism is one thing, but, a computer database that says no, that's something to contend with. Something else.
There was a picture shared on Twitter of this dude who took a selfie with another dude. I think they were possibly both in turbans. I'm not quite sure, but they were both Asian, and it just said the quote was like, "Look who got randomly selected to be searched." Like, it's definitely something that exists. So any sort of unpronounceable name, unfortunately, in the world we live in, causes just as many red flags. Murderers don't go out murdering on planes. That's the worst place to murder, especially if you want to be a serial killer. You'd only get away with killing a couple of people on a plane, then that's it. You'd definitely be caught. Not many escape routes from a plane.
Sounds like you've thought about this a lot for someone who's said numerous times they wouldn't be murdering people.
I've just sat on a plane with you guys twice.
Right, and did you want to murder me by the end of it?
Yes.
Is that because I told you loads of fun facts about the aircraft that we're flying on? That's my only one relatable sort of bit to my industry that I can convey to you.
No, because you didn't tell me on the way out, and I didn't sit with you on the way back. But I did hear about your guided tour of the plane.
Oh, I like Mikey no end.
For what it's worth, I really enjoyed the facts about the plane.
John wins.
Yes.
No, I was just thinking. Yes, they're both conversation starters, and I was reminded of a story this guy once actually said. He said he's from an African descent and he's got a very traditional African name. I'm not going to attempt to butcher his name on the internet, but he said he knew where he was in the register, and supply teachers would come in, or first day of term, teachers would come in, they get down the register, and they go, Oz, and they'd just say whatever his name was. It was something crazy. They'd be like, yeah, it's me, and all the kids would laugh. And within a year, he just got used to it. That was just how it's going to be. And he owned it. And he tried to put the teachers at ease, and he just went with it. He was a very relaxed kind of guy. Obviously, his traditional name made sense from where his ancestry was from, but not here. And he never let it sort of set him back. Whereas I really think I'd struggle to be named like Ian Huntley.
I guess for me, because of my surname, it's not a hard name, but people just assume it's not what it is because of the content. So they will deliberately spell it in a safe way because of the swear words that's at the end of it. And it just gets irritating to the point that I spell my name, and when I finish spelling it, I follow it up with, yes, it's as bad as it sounds. Because otherwise people just spell it with a whole manner of different ways. And it's just like, just spell my name correctly. It's not difficult. Same as Matthew. It's 2 T's. All Matthews have 2 T's. Matthews with 1 T, you're spelling it wrong.
That's not with 2 T's.
Well, because then you're not Matthew, you're just Matthew. Matthew, yeah.
Like a good sneeze.
Yeah, exactly. But no, fine. That's fair.
Okay, with everything to play for, I've got a choice of 3. No, choice of 4.
Well,
one is sort of Irish topically related, but I think it could be a little bit too in your face and a little bit risque. And then the other 3 are just unrelated, and I think they're pretty good. So I'll let you pick. I'm just going to number them down. Right, I've numbered them down on the paper. One of you pick a number between 1 and 4.
John, ladies first.
2.
Oh, oh, you had a 1 in 4 chance. Okay, do you want to be a potato farmer or would you rather be a Catholic priest?
I'd rather be
potato farmer.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Oh.
Potato farmer, because the way the world's going, there's more and more vegetarians and vegans every day. Potato is definitely North Europe's probably one of the most eaten foods.
Potato is chicken of the ground.
Yeah, exactly. It is chicken of the ground. There's so many different ways you can enjoy potato. It's always going to have a job. Working with the earth, you could probably apply your skills to many other different types of farming, not just potatoes. I mean, you could also grow sweet potatoes. There's one.
Wow, diversity in its finest.
And it's a much more practical thing than religion. Organised religion is there. It's basically counselling, really, isn't it? It's there to provide answers for people who have got questions. And that's what organised religion is. But it's very vague, so it's not honed in. Everyone's an individual, and it's like star signs. It's just, yeah, you fit into this category, and this is how. Yeah, everyone's different. Whereas potatoes are versatile, and everybody likes a different type of potato. Whereas not everybody likes Catholics.
Right, John, please wade in on this. Can you stop the ranting?
Another thing about potatoes.
I've got 3 main points that I want to make. No, make it 4. Number 1. Holy wine. Number 2.
Shut up.
Number 3, helping people. And number 4, Father Ted.
Number 5, Vicar of Dibley.
Nope.
Was she not Catholic?
Don't think so.
No, because I don't think Catholics let women be ministers.
Ministers?
Pretty sure she was Church of England.
See, this would be very different if it wasn't Catholic priest and it was just priest, because it could have gone really nerdy and started talking about World of Warcraft and Dungeons and Dragons, but you left it as Catholic priest, and I don't think that's one of the religions in all the nerd places.
The nerd places. You wait till I'm in your party and I'm nerding it up as a dragon person who believes that masturbation's a sin.
It is a sin.
What, like one of your 1 points you're allowed on Weight Watchers?
Yeah.
You can masturbate once, and that's
I tell you something. Potatoes have never caused any sort of war.
They've been part of a famine.
So that's not part of a war.
People
and it was also
no, definitely wrong. People have definitely fought wars over resources and land, and resources are potatoes and land grows potatoes. So I'm almost 100% certain that wars have been fought over potatoes.
Yeah, okay, but definitely not as many as religion.
Probably more.
Okay.
I'm glad you brought that up, John. I feel more enlightened knowing that people have stabbed other people over a scrap of land to grow potatoes on.
Yeah, I bet they have.
I don't really want to bring it up, but potato farmers have never been accused of any indiscretions they may have had regarding young people. That's definitely not something that potato farmers have had happen about them.
It's something pop stars have been accused of recently.
Yeah, but there's not been an inquest into McCain. Not McCain, who does the chips anyway.
Well, perhaps they should, because potato farms. What caused the potato famine was that traditionally a father would leave his land to his sons, and it would be divided up equally between them. And over the generations, the land that was divided up got smaller and smaller until the only thing that could be grown was potatoes. So, as a potato farmer, you have a really, really, really small farm because it's been divided up thousands of times. Whereas as a Catholic priest, you have cathedrals and lots of land because over the generations, the church has accumulated power and status by taxation and other means. So I'm really powerful with lots of land and cathedrals, and you've got a really small farm.
Okay, John, I'll make this very easy for you. Do you remember the old advert? What would you rather do, pray or eat a bowl of chips?
No, I believe the question was daddy or chips.
Exactly, and I'm adapting it because I don't really want to call a priest daddy.
You can call me daddy, I'd let you.
Daddy, what would you rather have, Sunday Mass or hash browns?
There is a very good chance if you... Well, oh no, I'm torn now.
We've got wine!
Because the church I used to go to, there was a very good chance we were going to get invited back to someone's house for Sunday lunch. Which
but
didn't involve chips, but
roast
potatoes.
Yeah, but that's just roast potatoes.
That is, and that's also going to my old church, which is a shout out to the Bridge in St Ives, still going strong. Moved to new premises a little while ago, doing very well for themselves. Yeah, but they're sort of a disorganised religion. They're awesome. They don't do anything like Catholicism.
And also, here's another thing: if assuming like the question is, would I rather be one or the other? But do you think there would be more rioting if we abolished the Catholic Church or we abolished potatoes?
I think there's a lot more hard work going into growing potatoes than there is
back-breaking labour.
Back-breaking labour. We discussed back-breaking labour wasn't good for the human body.
Yeah, bloody agriculture.
I'm just saying, I think we would have more of a mass riot on our hands if we got rid of chips than if we got rid of one of the many religions.
If it wasn't for mass religion, I don't think we would have ever organised into the advanced civilization that we are today. Before there was nothing that united large groups of people. There were no countries. It just wasn't possible. You couldn't persuade that many people to cooperate.
John, are you saying that we progressed as a society because we're all singing off the same hymn sheet?
Yeah.
Very nice. But now we do have lots of things in common.
Yeah, and
I'm not denying that religion was a necessity for us to evolve as a civilization. I just think organised religion is a very outdated concept. We have laws, we have government, we have rules and regulations we need to follow, which we have put in place based upon out-of-date scripture. You could sum up all of the scriptures in basically a couple of sentences, which is, be good. Be good, or I'll tell your mum.
No, there's a lot of how to be good, and if you're struggling to be good, how to deal with it. But okay, Mr. Potato Farmer, one last question for you before I ask my cloth brethren of the cloth. If we all know that curly fries are the most superior type of chip,
as long as they're cooked correctly, yes.
Then why aren't curly fries served everywhere as a replacement of the staple chunky chip or the French fry? Which is
Because
not French.
they're more expensive and more difficult to cook correctly.
Okay.
That's all. If you think how much waste you probably get from a potato,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm sure is used for other things, but how much waste you get from creating a curly fry?
Well, and you create almost no waste from a standard chip.
No, because you pretty much use the whole potato.
Okay, Brother John,
Yes.
what would the first thing you'd do in your day of being a Catholic priest? What would the first thing you'd do be?
I think I would find lots of ways to hook Father Ted quotes into my sermons so that I could be the most popular father in town.
So you plagiarise?
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
That is very up your street. So I think I have to go with the originality and the humble, hardworking Matthew on this one.
Yay! Potatoes are better than religion. John said so. You heard it here first.
What a surprise!
Who knew?
Being humble is in the Bible, Matt. Just to let you know. Oh wait, no, you don't care.
Yeah, no. You know what isn't in the Bible? Potato croquettes.
That's a very specific thing. I'm sure someone's going to write into the comment section.
I think
you find in Corinthians 15 verse 2, this actually translates to a modern day croquettes.
If the Last Supper had mash and gravy, then I think things would have gone a little differently.
Well, Judas wouldn't have grasped them because he was like, damn, that's some good mac and cheese.
There's some good mash.
With a side of mash.
Yeah, exactly.
Wasn't pissed on all the wine.
Yeah. And that's another thing. Have you seen the picture of, like, Europe's basically divided down the middle? The north is potato Europe and the south is tomato Europe because they're like the main staple you use in the diet. And if we didn't have the potatoes, then we'd have to be tomato Europe.
So where's the weird cross-section in the middle that make vodka out of potatoes but then put it in Bloody Marys? Where's that?
That's literally North Italy.
North Italy is the equator line of...
I don't know, is Bloody Mary's an Italian thing?
No, probably not.
I don't know where the Bloody Mary originated. Probably.
You know what
like
it'd be
it was
if
the
it was
Catholic Church, yeah.
No, you know what it'd be if it was an Italian? The
What?
Bloody Maria.
Oh, yeah, it would. Bloody Maria. With their...
But that sounds like you're annoyed with the receptionist.
Oh, well. We haven't had many fans write in before, but now that we've denounced all religion in favour of chips, we might...
I'm a bit worried we're going to lose the rest of our fan base.
We're going to get a new sponsor in the form of Sarson's, the vinegar manufacturer.
You've not even mentioned crisps or, for our American friends, chips.
No, I didn't even need to, did I?
No.
Didn't need to. That'll be the next Gary Lineker Walker's advert. It was like, are you just sick of religion? Why not denounce it? And then we'll start like building false idols to Gary Lineker.
Oh. Yeah. I think before we commit any more heresy, I'm going to sign off. So, I've been John, and I really hope I've not started some sort of potato cult.
And I've been John, and I'm going to go away and try and think of some puns about potatoes so I can make you spudder with laughter next week.
And my brain went completely blank about what to say after. I don't even know what that pun was supposed to be.
Spuds. Spudder.
Splutter?
Yes.
What?
Splutter with laughter. Spudder with laughter.
You would never say the phrase splutter with laughter. That's not a thing.
Yes, it is.
No. You can titter, you can explode. Nobody sputters with laughter.
Matt, calm down, Matt. You know what the Bible says.
He's insulting my potato heritage.
Calm down. Remember what it says in the Bible. Turn it to the other cheek.
Oh, dear.
Hey.
And I've been not John, and I didn't even need to bring Mr. Potato Head from Toy Story into this argument. This has been Wood John Rather, where we've mostly spoke about potatoes in Norway. So, another really interesting episode for you folks. We're closely coming up on a year that we've been doing this, and as you can see, the quality just keeps on getting worse and worse.
Full of educational material, we are.
full of completely well-researched material. And the sponsored word this week is sputter.
I think it's splutter.
Splutter.
Yeah. Splutter.
No, okay. Well.
Got nothing, eat something. We want somebody to it, where everybody goes, I've never known.